Good morning, Mayor Giuliani. How are you?
I'm really good, John, and I really am impressed in the way you stayed on top of this and really helped our city with some of the most intelligent advice. And I happen to know some of the good advice he gave to the president too. And I've spoken to him several times. I tell you, I've been through two major crises with him now. I don't know, maybe more. All that stupid impeachment stuff, which now seems like it was years ago, right? I mean, most other presidents would have folded under that. And this is, in many ways, this is more complex than 9/11 because 9/11 was, of course, the worst attack in history. I don't want to minimize it, but at least it had a clear focus, and then we knew what we had to do about it. This we don't know how long it's going to take. We don't know if remedies are going to work or not because it is completely shocking and completely new.
Well, I certainly don't speak to the president as often as you do, and
Well, yes, great. I mean, I'm not. He's got great respect for you, John, and he was very, very impressed with the advice you gave him. So I think you're going to probably be speaking to him more now.
Thank you. But I think what Americans are looking for, I don't think it's about the Fed. I don't think it's about the Treasury. I think what Americans are looking for is a solution. And I think if there are 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different drugs that are available, I think
let's try it.
Let's try some of them, especially if there's people that are dying. I'd rather have them try an experimental drug than allow our Americans to die.
Put yourself in the same position, John. It's hard to do this, but if I contracted it, I'm 75, and if they said to me, your system is not able to handle this, you're going to be dead in a week, I'd say, well, then just give me what you got and use me, please. At least my death will be worth something. I think there are a lot of people like that would do that. I mean, I even know people that have done that with cancer. They didn't want to go through 3 or 4 years of torturous, so they tried a new drug. In the case of my friend who you knew very well, Peter Powers.
I love Peter. He was a good guy. Yeah.
He lived 4.5 years rather than 6 months as a result of one of these, what do they call it? Experimental drugs. Yeah.
Yes.
4.5 years. God bless.
And there's some drugs, especially the one that South Korea is using, that's a tested drug for malaria, but seems to have a big effect on
That's a
the
powerful
corona
drug, John. I've taken that drug for malaria. Not you actually take it not just if you have malaria, but to prevent malaria. It's like if you're going to go to a malaria infested place, you take it a week before, and then you take it for 4 more weeks. But I'm going to tell you, it is a powerful, powerful drug, and meaning you have a lot of effects from it. But if you're dying of this thing, I take it in a second.
I think the American people need optimism that it's going to be over in 30 days or 60 days, and that's what's needed.
Well, I noted 2 things on my favorite target, I guess, de Blasio. After not being involved in this for weeks, having Cuomo have to do both jobs of being mayor and governor, he kind of drops in like a parachuter, stops his exercise in the gym, and immediately announces that he's going to lock down the whole city. Well, that scares the living daylights out of everybody. He may have to lock down the whole city. He may not. We don't know that yet. You don't announce draconian things in advance. You announce them when you know you have to do them and you get people ready for it. But then he follows it up by saying we're going to go into a massive recession. Well, how does he know we're going to go into a massive recession? This is a strange impact on our economy. It's not happening because there's anything wrong with our economy. Our economy was perfect the day before this happened. This is an external event of powerful proportions that is affecting our economy. Doesn't mean it won't do damage, but it still means that our essential economy is fundamentally strong. I mean, you and I know there are businesses just raring to go. I mean, when we come out of this, you're going to see such activity, it's going to be crazy. So, yes, we're going to have a recession, but it's going to be a very unusual recession. I don't know that it's going to be massive. And I could equally predict a massive recovery and probably have better support from economists than he has. But the point is, this is bad enough. Don't make it worse.
I agree with you 100%.
Cuomo and the president, to me, I mean,
Cuomo and the president,
the way I and Pataki and Bush handled 9/11.
Cuomo and the president are being the adults in the room right now. It's the best thing we could, the best way we could say it, and they're working together as Americans versus Democrats.
I'm so proud of both of them. You know, you and I know both of them, right?
Yes.
And it's so nice to see two New Yorkers who have major political differences being patriots first. I even see the guy in California, Newsom, is cooperating with the president. This is the way it should be done in an emergency.
I agree 100%. But I agree with you that we're going to have a recovery. Once people feel the solution is 99% there, you'll have a quick recovery back to almost where we were.
I was in one of your stores last night. You know, it isn't so bad, John. I mean, look, I'm a guy who likes to have 50, like you. Greeks and Italians, I think, are very similar. I like to have 15 people in my house. You know, the more people in my house, the better. So the last 3 days, I'm sitting here alone working, you know. So I go out for a walk. I went to Gristides, and I got a lot of nice stuff. They're pretty well. I mean, people shouldn't think that there's no food out there. I mean, you can go to the stores, and you can't eat there, but you can buy the food.
I believe, Gristides and D'Agostino's, which we have 80%, 85% stocked. And if something is not there, it'll usually be there within 24.
John, you're missing toilet paper.
Oh my God! You know, I had to get your sidekick Tony a special delivery on toilet paper. The one thing that I said to people is, if there was World War III, if an atomic bomb went off by accident, it would be less effect than what we're having right now.
There's a certain thing about this, because I compare it to 9/11, West Nile virus, and anthrax. The unknown length of it and the unknown impact it's going to have is very, very stressful for people, because like 9/11 happened. We were in shock for about 2 weeks. We couldn't process losing thousands and thousands and thousands of people, worst foreign attack in the history of the country. But it was over with. We knew we had a very difficult cleanup job, but we could organize for it, and we had a goal, get it cleaned up, get it fixed up. And I could start saying to people within 2 or 3 days, go back to normal. I mean, I pushed Broadway to come back. They wanted to take a week. I pushed them to come back in 3 days. I said it was your patriotic duty to do it. And they said, well, there'll be nobody in the theater. I said, I don't care. Just it'd be good practice for you. And I almost pushed Grasso into opening on Thursday. And look, because the president wanted it opened on Thursday. And Grasso very wisely said, we could open it, but it might go down. Give me until Monday, and it will be perfect. But, I mean, this is different. You can't do that. You can't go and say, Broadway, go entertain people. You're going to kill them if you do that. So I appreciate the fact that the governor and the president and these other governors like Newsom and Abbott, they're dealing with something unknown here. This wasn't in the playbooks.
You're absolutely right. And I think it's going to get better, and hopefully it can get better in the next 30 days. And give the president my regards and tell him let's find a solution faster than later.
Well, you can't imagine the amount of pressure he's putting on them in a good way. And you can't imagine how they're responding to it. He's got a really great program. We had this smallpox program in case they release smallpox on us. And I remember it's about a 45-page outline of what you do. And I remember one night, about a week after September 11, walking out of Gracie Mansion about 2 a.m. after they told us about smallpox. And basically the end result of what they told us was that we'd have to put the people on Randall's Island. We couldn't let them off. And we were just going to have to hope that not too many of them died.
Well,
so I went to bed that night with the prospect of putting my citizens on an island where they're going to go die.
Wow.
And you just got to get it out of your mind, and you got to say, well, that's not going to happen. I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen. we'll figure out. So I really do respect what I'm at. Most visibly, I can see this going on with the president because I talk to him a lot. I can see it going on with Andrew too, and I really respect that. It takes a certain kind of courage to be able to keep your mind focused at a time like this, and these two guys got it.
I like I said, we said before, Andrew Cuomo and Donald Trump, they are the adults in the room, and they're doing what makes common sense. And Mayor, thank you for calling in this morning, and God bless New York.
Close touch, John. I think you're giving out some of the best information, so people should think of John as look, the city so well, even from the business point of view, there isn't anybody better.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.